when I was a young child. I was a lonely child, but not like lonely in a sad way. I was just content being on my own. I felt very spiritually connected in nature. That was my experience of beauty and peace. So this is a pump organ. I kept it pretty simple when adding this to the soundtrack because I more so wanted to use it as almost like a pad, like a synth. A lot of the songs have me breathing in it, really slowly in and out. And the string movements a lot of times match that. And so to be able to have another instrument that has almost that breath feel, it just added a whole nother aspect to that, and just the depth that comes from the instrument itself. And so I sampled that sound and basically messed with it a lot and just added a really cool feel to the overall soundtrack. My parents are American, but they moved to Portugal when I was very young. So I grew up in Portugal, spent about 15 years of my life there until the age of 18. You have to be really intentional to stay connected to your childhood, I think, in general, but especially if you live completely outside of the culture that you grew up in. So a couple different ways that I try and stay connected is, one, by listening to Portuguese music, whether that's traditional or more modern, and then also by incorporating that into my own music. You know, obviously what you listen to is going to influence what you create. So the intro started off with that very simple, almost following another chord structure melody. They mostly hold one note and slowly change chord over time. And this is what the piano and strings sound like together. In nature, it's a lot of death and life, and leaves fall in the autumn, and in spring it's all new again. And so I wanted this to be a little bit of shedding or laying down of something, and so I really wanted that to be the intro, so that is how people walk into this space and hopefully are able to experience this project. And this piece is starting out with being able to leave everything that's on your mind or the heavy things, kind of let those sit for a second and allow yourself to breathe. The Sounds of Serenity Garden is a musical art installation. The project is 8 tracks long, about 15 minutes. It is a soundtrack that was created to highlight a green space and invite people into peace and serenity and noticing the beauty that exists in their city and nature. So Humming Song actually came from the idea that there are certain words that just don't exist or aren't particularly translatable in other languages. And so I wanted to create a song that just didn't have any words so that it was up for translation. And from there, ended up repeating it a few times just to create that familiarity. Kept it really, really simple, and it's basically just a major 7. This idea that rather than making something new for you to look at, which is also great, but shining a light back on things that already exist and almost having you look at something regular and normal you know is there, but you're looking at it in an intentional way. And I think as an artist and as a musician, that is a responsibility that I have. Almost help people pay attention to things or look at something in a new way. The way that light hits the trees and creates shadows, and the sounds that the leaves make when they kind of dance across each other. And that was just my experience. And so now as an adult, when I go into nature, I feel that same connection.